welcome to Woman2Woman Today, where we're having intimate conversations with inspiring women while doing fun projects that will teach us something new. I'm your host, Jen Maseda, and we want this show to be a bright spot in your lives. Now, this has happened to all of us. You wake up with pieces of hair sticking out in all directions, or in my case, one direction straight down, and you can't seem to wrangle it in some semblance of a shape that's appropriate for work or otherwise. Not a great start to your day. There's hope. Keep watching today's show. With us today is professional hair wrangler and owner of Jennifer Tawa Hair Design. With over 20 years of experience, she specializes in weddings with both classic and contemporary styles. And now Jen is with us on Woman2Woman Today. Welcome, Jen.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us. And I'm so excited to hear a lot of different stories, especially one particular story. But before we do that, share with us how you got started in hair design and your career, please.
I've always enjoyed working with hair and the face of beauty and putting together a woman and the power that hair has for each one of us as women. And I can't say I was always one of those little kids who always loved playing with hair. That was not me. It was right around the time when I was maybe 12 or 13 years old when I started to realize that my hair was something that I could control and I could change it, and what it was doing naturally wasn't desirable for me. It was very curly and very frizzy and hard to manage, and so I started playing with blow dryers and curling irons. We used a lot of gel back then. It was big hair, 80s.
Yeah.
And I realized I could really change the way I looked quite dramatically by doing my hair. And so luckily enough, I had a lot of family that owned salons and worked in salons, were stylists from 1 to 2 generations prior to me.
Okay.
And so it was very easy to sort of understand the salon environment
Yeah.
and know that I wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah. What did you like the most about the environment? It was your aunt that had a
It was my mother's
had a shop?
cousin.
Okay,
Yeah.
your mother's cousin.
Yeah. And it was a great place to be. I loved having my hair cut. I loved being there. I loved the background noise in the salon. I loved hearing the blow dryers, the conversation, the laughs. Everything about the environment was very exciting to me.
Sure.
And I just wanted to spend more and more time there. So
Yeah.
I ended up doing just that, actually. It was my first job when I was in the 10th grade.
You mentioned the environment that was the salon, and we also have a show that is about makeup and just being with women at a time. It's either a special event or it's an opportunity for them to just focus solely on themselves, which I love going to the salon, or I don't do it very often because I don't have time.
Right.
But when I'm there, I really feel like I can just only think about, or do something that is, I'm either reading a book or a magazine, or I'm solely focused on myself. And you're right, the laughter and that, it's like a relaxation for a woman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a great.
I think, and also too, what's interesting is it's the one place where I can escape myself.
Oh, that's interesting.
So when I find myself at work, you spend the hour in the morning getting yourself together and putting on whatever you're going to wear and doing your makeup and hair and being done. And then from the time I arrive and take that first client to the very last minute that I'm with my very last client, my day isn't really about me. And it's a breath of fresh air because I don't think there's too many jobs where you can literally forget yourself.
Yeah.
And people are asking you questions and they're interested in your life, and there's certainly that conversation. But we multitask in a very intense way as a stylist. I think every stylist would agree. It's such a game of multitasking. But the true focus is the hair, the person, and when I'm done with work, I sort of re-enter my life again. And it's a nice break. It makes for a nice balance.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. What else do you do in your life that that gives you that sense of relaxation? And share with us what your husband said. Because that was cute.
Yes. So downtime is minimal
Okay.
because I do work in the salon 2 days a week, and then I work for myself on weekends, and I'm always fitting in, servicing clients either at their home or hotel, and so downtime is minimal. But I do have to say I am surrounded by a wonderful, supportive husband and 2 beautiful children, and so apparently he thinks I should spend a lot more of my time waiting for him to drop knowledge, listening to him drop knowledge, which
that's
actually
brilliant.
he's not even wrong. He's a pretty smart guy. He knows a lot about
funny.
things. So, so I, thanks to the internet and technology and all of these things, specifically in hair, and I'm sure many other areas, we can really find inspiration at our fingertips at any given moment.
Yeah.
If there's something that you have an idea about and you want to just go through a process of sitting down and developing that idea, there is an endless amount of information between, Pinterest, the internet, Facebook, whatever, Instagram. And it's, I'd like to say that using these devices is like a bad thing. It's really a beautiful thing when used the right way. I think my industry has completely changed. I'm sure again, as well as many others, but I enjoy it because it's helpful. Yeah, it's inspiring.
Yes, I'm sure. And just your pictures on Facebook, and now you're also on Instagram.
I am.
Yeah. So I talk about that a lot on the show, how women should share more what their passion is, because one, it inspires women to find their own passion, but then it also encourages them that this is something that we should be doing for each other. We should be sharing what our passion is, what our ideas are, because it only makes us better as women, as leaders, as business owners. So I appreciate you, and I commend you for doing that, because that's so critical. To be able to comment, especially, and share your ideas with others is that's such a gift.
I actually feel part of a very large group of very special people. I think hairdressers in general, I mean, you're asking me, so I'm telling you, there's many wonderful women in this world that do many things, but hairdressers specifically, to me, I'm so proud to be in an industry that is constantly growing, constantly learning. It's about our state of mind as well as it is our technical abilities and how we cope and manage all of the personalities, the information, the talent, the experience, what's on paper, but what we know to be true by practice, and really putting it to the test. And it's just such a broad spectrum of things we're called on to do, and we're constantly growing and learning and sharing with each other in a way that you're only as good as your last haircut, as good as your last style, as good as you can only make your clients as happy as your last client was happy. And so you never really give up on the next opportunity to make it better. It's a constant thing you strive for, and I think as a community and hairdressers in general, we support each other quite well. And
do you think that it's because it's something you're so passionate about, and you've made a conscious decision, this is my career, and you have to make that decision, I feel, with being a stylist. You have to make that decision. This is what I'm going to do. All the rest of it, the business community, even though that is central to the success of your career path, and understanding, having that business knowledge. Do you think it's something that brings that community closer together than any other industry?
I think it's definitely all of those things, but I really do think that it's the one thing. You sell yourself. Nobody else is me but me. Yeah. And I can't be you, no matter how hard I try, and none of us can be each other. So you could line up 10 stylists and ask them to do the very simple same one style, whether it be a twist or a one-length haircut or as basic as it could be. Sure. But because my hands are mine, at the length they're at, with the tool I choose, it will never be the same from person to person. There really can't be competition because you are only you, and you sell yourself.
Yeah, that's really
And so it really thrives on the idea that you're an individual and that you are not to be compared to anybody else.
Sure.
And that's what you sell.
Yeah. And we should live that.
We should live that. I try.
There's nobody like me.
There's nobody like me. Yeah, exactly.
Like
it's true. Yeah, it's all we've got.
That's a mantra we've got to repeat to ourselves and to others who support each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
What are some of the characteristics that you have that make you a success in your business? And tell us a little bit about the business, because you go into a studio twice a week, but there's more to it. In the brand of Jennifer Tawa hair design, what do you have to do to make that successful?
I think always being available, always having the client's best interest at heart, satisfying their needs, whatever it may be, and knowing where, what areas of a wedding or a special event or even a visit to the salon might cause either some anxiety or concern or worry, and really getting that and putting them at ease in those areas.
You're definitely good at that.
Being available is very important. Thank you.
Yes.
So I think that I've been lucky to be able to cut back my salon hours and work more outside of the salon. While still staying in that environment, it's very important, because I'm able to take my experiences from one aspect of things and really bring it into the others. Always staying connected is very important. And coworkers are important.
Absolutely.
As much as I'd like to say I am a one-man show, I really work with an incredibly talented and inspiring bunch of ladies and men. And my boss specifically at the studio is all inspiring, and I take each one of them there with me every time I do something, everywhere I go. They're my eyes and they're my heart, and I feel very strongly. So that's really what powers my ability to go out of the salon and continue to stay successful, upkeeping that high level of customer service and care, and just being genuine and wanting someone to do that for me should I need those services.
Absolutely.
So all of that is what makes that work.
And you mentioned experiences and how that really helps you to grow. So recently you had a really fabulous experience that I would love for you to tell our viewers about, because I wish I had gone with you.
I wish I could have taken everyone with me.
I know.
So I recently was asked to be the lead hairstylist for the New England Patriots cheerleaders swimsuit calendar for 2017.
Fantastic.
And so I was able to travel to Bimini, which is an island in the Bahamas, and join a group of about 50 of us.
Wow.
There was 32 girls. There are 33 cheerleaders, I believe, but one was actually busy being Mrs. America. She was.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Contestant on Miss America.
Okay.
Or Miss USA.
Okay.
And so there were 33 girls, and there was camera crew, film crew, and the director and all of the support there. And so we were able to go and spend 8 days traveling and helping these girls look fierce and beautiful. They're amazing, amazing group of ladies. They're extremely talented, incredibly hardworking. I don't think I expected the level of dedication that was very clear, that they are driven and committed, and they're unified. It's a sisterhood.
Oh,
it really is
great.
a sisterhood.
But that's really good to know that they are so supportive of each other, and this is not their day job. Am I correct in that?
I believe so.
This is a volunteer, or it's an additional position that they have the honor of being, but that have worked really hard to attain.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So what other kinds of work do they do?
Many of them are still in school. A lot of them are working on. There's a few teachers that are on board there, and their talents are without limits. They really are. It was wonderful to get to know them, even in that short period of time. The hair and makeup room can be it's a very exciting place, and they didn't know me, and they placed their trust in me, and I just, treaded carefully until it was time to be of service, to be called on and to be there for them. And I don't think I've ever felt more proud to be part of such a family. They referred in advance of the trip, welcome to our family. It was,
beautiful.
From the minute I arrived in the environment, they did nothing but welcome me. And it was very short time that I actually genuinely did feel part of the New England Patriots cheerleaders family. It really was an amazing thing. So I'm excited to hopefully, be there next year with them. And
I can't wait to see that project. That's
The
gonna be
calendar
really
is
exciting.
going to be amazing.
Of course.
It's going to be.
Of course, because you did all the hair.
Well,
and the girls are spectacular anyway. but
They are spectacular.
They're fortunate to have you,
It
too.
was such a group effort. I said, hair and makeup go so hand in hand, and if the whole thing is not photographed properly, which it was, the
bet.
environment and the
Yeah.
director was incredible, and so I think the end result is going to be a true collaborative, and it will be wonderful.
Good. Well, we're really excited that you shared that with us, but also that you're here. You have had a really amazing career. I know that it is just going to take off even higher because you're brilliant. So thank you for being with us today. We really appreciate it. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Jennifer will show us how to save our bed head and hat hair with 3 easy styles, and also tell us how to sit in a stylish chair and get exactly what we want. So keep watching.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. This is unacceptable, and something Feeding America is working to solve. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States, including yours. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
Hi, may I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
Good.
Take that first step towards a better future. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Woman2Woman Today, where we inspire women to reach their goals and learn something new every time. I'm your host, Jen Maseda, and we're here with Jennifer Tawa of Jennifer Tawa Hair Design, who's going to walk us through some easy ways to transform our morning hair into something that looks effortless. So thanks, Jennifer, for being with us again.
Thank you for having me.
So share with us and your beautiful subject, Julia.
Yes.
Tell us what we're going to do.
So I'd be happy to show you
Great, please do.
a quick style that we can do here on Julia. One of the first things is to acknowledge that her hair is very slippery and very healthy and beautiful. And I'm going to show you a really quick way to get a little volume. I would say, section the hair ever so slightly and just give 1 or 2 sprays. This is a L'Oreal Professional Tensi Art product, and it's a salt spray. It's lovely.
Salt spray, okay.
Yes, it's actually
and
called Beach Waves.
So it's got salt in it. Is there some other, is there oil with it?
Some of
Because
them,
I can't just go to the beach and just grab some salt water and there's my product. Although that'd be great.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe you
okay.
can. All of this stemmed from that person
Okay.
who can actually do that.
That's funny.
So there is something to that.
Oh, it smells delicious too.
I try to
Really
make
nice.
all of the products I use smell really quite nice because we end up being in sort of confined spaces.
Sure.
And so this is a very simple method of backcombing. It's something that needs to be practiced. It's certainly not something
Okay.
you can just do day one and count on it being
Yeah.
great every minute. I, of course, have no problem teaching or showing anyone, but it really boils down to practice
Okay.
after that. And so what this can do really is just give us a slight foundation
That's incredible.
to her hair and
Yeah.
allow me then to, you can see it's not falling super flat
No, not at
anymore.
all.
She's got a little lift.
Yeah.
And then you can just sort of spray lightly and she now has a top, something that she can work with.
Yeah. And you know, something else that I've seen you work, and you've obviously had a lot of practice with this, but you're not afraid to get your hands in your hair and spray it and move it and shift it. I think that's something
Yes.
else that people get afraid to do, that they think they shouldn't touch it after they spray it one time, but you're in there.
Yes.
Your hair is not as delicate as you might think it is.
It shouldn't
I guess
be.
That's my point. Yeah.
Yes, I
Okay.
agree with you. It shouldn't be. I think that it's like building a house. You put in a nice strong foundation
Okay.
and you should be able to tug and pull and push and really create a shape without going, oh, because we
Right.
don't live like that. We
No.
move our
Yeah,
heads, we shake our
absolutely.
hair, and you blow in the wind, and you don't want to feel like you're going to collapse.
Yes, right.
You have to feel like,
Yeah.
you got a little bit of staying power.
Right. And you don't want it to look stiff, because then
And you don't want it to look
no,
stiff.
Right.
Exactly. So one of the things that you can do really simply, I mean, now that she's got this little bit of volume and it's not
Beautiful.
flat, you can spray that a little bit, and take that daytime hair that she's got and bring it right into the night. And I'll show you the power of salt spray and just a little bit of intentional styling here.
Okay.
Knowing what you're doing, having a bit of a plan is really nice. So I'm going to utilize.
What's the blue can spray?
This here is my lifeblood.
Okay.
This is the Aquage finishing spray. I kind of can't live without
Aquage,
it.
yes.
Yes, there are a few others that I've really warmed up to quite nicely, but this seems to be the one I reach for.
Okay. And is it hairspray? You
It's a
said
finish-
finishing. What does that mean?
It's a finishing spray, so it's a workable spray.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can use it and layer it into the hair,
Got
and
it.
the more you use, the greater hold you have.
Okay. Good to know.
And so one of the ways that you can sort of capture this, I'm going to do a little side pony on Julia and show you how you can, take 2 minutes to just sort of bring this together. I like sort of a natural side to this, and you can take just regular standard bobby pins. They're sold everywhere, and just sort of give the hair a tiny bit of a twist at the back of the neck.
Okay.
And this helps some of these shapes just sort of look a bit more polished.
Right.
And there's a purpose to the hair in that area, which
Right.
is kind of can be unusual when you go to style it to the side. And you don't have to even be too fussy with it. Just a small
Beautiful.
secure to that is
Yep.
really nice. Once you've got that locked in, give it a spray. You want it to stay.
Yeah. What's the difference? I've seen bobby pins that are tightly shut, and I've seen bobby pins that are almost like a U shape.
Hairpins, yes.
Okay. What do you use those two products for?
So bobby pins you're using to secure the hair into its place. You're
Okay.
locking it in. You often want to crisscross them. They have a bit of a ridge or a ripple along the surface, and they lock into place in a crisscross technique.
Okay.
The hairpin is open.
Yeah.
And truthfully, when your foundation is in place and you're placing shapes on top of that foundation, you very successfully can use a hairpin, because now this is capturing an amount of hair and locking into the foundation you've already planted.
Okay.
So you're putting this essentially into that crisscross.
Got it.
And it locks beautifully. And it
That's
often
brilliant.
has to hold more hair.
Okay. And it doesn't flatten your style, or
I would think that if you were at home and you
Yeah.
were experimenting, first off, bobby pins are the way
Okay.
to go.
Yeah.
I think,
More
until
secure.
you sort of really establish your foundation and how you're going to create the style, your need for bobby pins would be far greater than hairpins.
okay.
So one of my pet peeves about styling to the side is that I hate seeing that gap between the body and the hair. I feel like you should be one with your hair.
Okay.
It should sit on your body. And so often I have clients turn towards me ever so slightly, and it allows me to create a ponytail that is in a position that's really close up to the head.
Okay.
And it just reduces gaps or anything of that nature.
Okay.
And the way I would make this ponytail for someone on their wedding day is slightly different than I would do it if I was teaching someone on how to do it themselves. So I'm going to use just standard black elastics.
Okay.
They're sold anywhere. And
What's the difference between what you would do on a wedding day? More secure,
more secure,
Okay.
exactly. And it sort of allows me to take larger sections of hair and pin into that, and it's something unique. And also too,
Okay.
this style is only as good as the strength of your band.
Oh, okay.
What I make on someone's wedding day is more mechanical I create the actual elastic, and it's a guarantee.
Okay, it is not moving.
It is not
No matter
reliant
what.
on the
Okay,
strength of
got
my
it.
band.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once you get this, you can see she has very little
Beautiful.
gap between her hair
Yep.
and her neck.
Beautiful.
It's really tight and close. I think that's super important for it feeling like it's hers and it's on her
Right.
body.
Yep.
You know, once you do something like that, you know, you can take a small section, braid it, and sort of wrap it around and give that a pin, and it's secure. But
Pretty.
really, even more than that, I would love to show a way that you can take a little bit of that same sea salt
Yeah.
spray and see this like sort of silky smooth piece of hair.
Yeah.
You can really kind of give it some life.
Oh, okay.
And you know, if you're sitting at your office the second part of the day and you don't have much time, but maybe, you know, 10, 15 minutes before you go to leave, you want to do a little something to your hair, you can no heat set your hair.
There you go.
And really all you need is a little sea salt spray. Tuck it into your desk. There's
Yeah.
also another product I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Give it a little spray and kind of use your hands to sort of give the hair a little bit of body.
Yeah.
And even really straight hair will actually liven up to this this
okay.
method.
I'm going to believe
It
you,
will.
Jennifer.
It will. Using the right, you know, product.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that same
That's
technique
incredible.
that we used up here to
Yes.
give her that lift,
Yep.
you know, she can go through
Okay.
and give a little push to some of this hair.
Yeah.
And it really will create a very nice texture.
That's beautiful.
Takes up some space. It's not small.
No.
You know, she
Makes
can.
it so voluminous and
Exactly.
really healthy and
Yeah, and hair that's, you know, there used to be this idea that we wanted like everything small and perfect and straight, and the idea of using sea salt sprays in and of itself means the hair has a little bit of irregularities to it. It doesn't have to be, it's not runway,
Right.
it's not perfect finger waves. It's got a little edge to it. It's got
Yeah.
a little personality. And then you can go
That's a
through.
great way to think about it.
Yeah, you can go through and, you know, give it a shot or two of hairspray. If she did want a more polished look, you could go about this exact same thing and do, like I was saying, more of a dry set.
Okay.
And all that's entailed in that is really wrapping the hair around your fingers, giving it a little bit of a pin, and let it hang out for 10 minutes or so.
You're
it
kidding
will
me.
it will stay.
That's amazing.
And when you release that,
Yeah.
it really does do
It's
the
gonna be
trick.
like a curl.
It'll
That's
be like a
beautiful.
curl.
There you go.
So that would be how, and just spray it.
Yeah.
Let it sit for 10 minutes or so,
There
and
you go.
you'll have a shape.
Okay.
Yeah, which is lovely.
So you're going to tell us a little bit about what to ask a stylist.
Yes.
So finding the right fit for a stylist is really critical. You want to be able to, as a customer, you want to be able to share what you want, but you also want a little bit of pushback from a stylist that says, that is not going to work for your hair. It's not going to look good, because I do this all the time. I take in a picture of this beautiful superstar that I love her hair. It'll just never work on my hair. So what are some of the things that a customer should be doing, but then also, you know, how do you ask your stylist to give you something and then take the feedback
Yes.
that it's not going to work?
Yes.
Listen, Jen, it's not going to work for you.
I think it's really important to stay on, you know, to stay honest.
Okay.
The truth of the matter is just like you said, there are certain restrictions that certain hair won't do, or maybe it will do with just too much effort, realistically, for you to tackle each day. So I think it's important to, when you're coming to the salon, and you, even with a trusted stylist, somebody that you've been going to for a long time, select photos of women, celebrities, whatever makes you happy, of people that have a similar hair type to yours,
That makes sense.
or wearing the hair in a texture that you'd be willing to create and put in the time to
Okay.
create.
Sure.
Often, too, people don't think to bring in photos of people with the same hair color that they have. And the reason is blondes just read different in photographs than
Okay.
brunettes. And sometimes a lot of that texture you might read as the haircut
Right.
is really their hair color.
Ah, okay.
And that communication and that lingo is very important to establish. I think it's so staying realistic and really, you know, paying attention to the amount to the advice that's given to you is really important, so that your stylist can feel confident they can deliver what you're asking.
Okay. All right. Well, we really appreciate that advice. So
Yeah.
thanks for being with us on the show and giving us
Thank
this
you.
tremendous advice. And really, helping us to better understand hair and product. You're amazing, Jennifer Tawa of Jennifer Tawa Hair Design. And thank you, Julia, for being a beautiful, already beautiful, and now even more spectacular volunteer and model for us. We really appreciate it. So please remember to follow, like, and subscribe to Woman2Woman Today on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube so you don't miss a show. Thanks to the entire team at Access Framingham, especially Shavarsh Morrissey and Francesca Cerruti Harris, who are with us at every show. Thanks also to Jess Briswell, our assistant producer and guest coordinator, and all-around good sport, and to Ryan McCabe, our art director. I'm Jen Maseda, your host of Woman2Woman Today. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next time, where we hope to inspire you.